gift. Last year, probably the topic that was getting a lot of attention and the person was this whistleblower, David Grusch. How much of what he shared with Congress is true? How much of it is false information fed to him that he believes is true?
Good question. The essentials that he shared was true. And that is that there are covert programs. There have been people who have been killed. He mentioned that. They're dealing with very advanced reverse engineered technologies of non-human intelligence that we've studied. The part that he later started sharing that was false, because he fell into the hands of a master disinformation agent named Luis Elizondo, and is the things that deal with evil aliens blowing up villages in Peru or, where it was in South America and Africa. So, and remember, Mr. Grusch was investigating this, but was not a primary witness. What I'm trying to get Congress to do is subpoena, at least gave them a list of 23 top direct. One of them is the former chairman of a major corporation, a Fortune 50 company, who has documents and information, but he and his whole family have been threatened since he reached out to me about a year ago. So what we need are people who are, I have debriefed over 1,000 of these men and women. But what we need is not people, no offense to Mr. Grusch, who are secondhand, who heard this. We need the people who he actually met with and that I've met with, because those are direct people. And many of them do have material or documents, but they need to be, many of them are going to have to be subpoenaed. And they're going to need to be protected. Now, the protection independent of the Congress or the White House is being stood up, as I mentioned, June 20th. Now, I can't control what the Congress does for authorizing a select committee that's properly funded with an investigatory team and subpoena power. So far, what Mr. Burchett and others have wanted to do, they do not have subpoena power, and that is going to greatly limit what they can do, because the most high-value whistleblowers are going to require a subpoena. And this includes people who are on the management committee running these illegal operations, and I know who a number of them are. A couple of them I've met with. So this gets into some really complex issues, and I believe that's why there are always a few control points in the Congress that are on the payroll or receive huge amounts of money from these bad actors who stop that kind of legislation. And unfortunately, I think that's what happened in December when the National Defense Authorization Act was gutted from what the Senate had and went to reconciliation between the House and the Senate. Mr. Turner and Mr. Rogers of Intelligence and Armed Services in the House helped make sure that was out. And of course, if you look at Mr. Turner's home district, it's where Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is. And Wright-Patterson in Dayton is where some of the original materiel from the 40s was taken. And it's still a very classified area that has extraterrestrial material, but also very advanced programs studying the science and technology. So, and Lockheed and other big contractors, Lockheed Skunk Works, Northrop, Raytheon, part of Boeing, others, make sure that they have their guys in key places scattered throughout government to divert or to provide false information. So disinformation is probably more valuable than flat out stopping something, because you basically misdirect people down a rabbit hole that goes nowhere. And I think that is unfortunately what's happened to members of Congress. And I know that every president that I know about since I've been on the stage doing this for 34 years.
Yeah.